Welcome to episode 10 of Tunnelz, and in this episode we're going to Paris. Let's take a look at what Tunnelz Paris has to offer. Now, I've done separate videos on some disused metro stations in Paris, as well as URBEX of the link tunnels that link up different metro lines together, which are not used by passenger trains, but are used by maintenance trains. So make sure you check out those videos. As for this video, we're going to start off by taking a look at an under construction metro line. And in Paris, there's a lot of metro construction going on. Loads upon loads of metro extensions are being built. If only London could put this amount of investment into the railways. London has not had serious investment for ages. Well, the Crossrail line's been built. Only that's been built. If you compare it to Paris and the extent of building works going on in Paris, you've got two extensions to line 14, a north extension and a south extension. You've got an extension to RERE, you've got an extension to line 11, and there's a brand new massive orbital metro line, line 15, plus two spurs of that, line 16 and 17. That is a lot being built. So let's start this video off by taking a look at the southern extension to line 14. This extends line 14, which is the newest metro line and is the first fully automatic metro line in Paris. This line originally ran around the centre of Paris, and it's more of an express metro line because it's quite a bit faster than the other metro routes. But two massive extensions are being built. In the north, it's going quite a long way up to north, but the southern extension is even longer, going all the way down to Orly Airport. So that is going to be a very long metro line when it's complete. Let's explore the southern extension, and we start off by going into a metro vent shaft. As a new metro line and is a deeper metro line than the old lines, there are quite a few vent shafts. So we enter into one of these vent shafts and go down the stairs to the tracks. This metro line is actually almost complete. Only a few months more left of construction until it opens. Now on the surface there's not much to be seen. That's because all of the surface area is most likely going to have buildings built on it. So all of the equipment for the vent shaft is all underground. So we go down the stairs to the first basement, which is some sort of control room area. We weren't sure if there's security there, so we skipped this and went down to the second basement, which is the fan room. And there are some massive fans here for the vent shaft. Let's take a look at the fans.
Wow, that's deep enough. Cool.
And now let's go down the stairs. This metro vent shaft is about 25 to 30 metres deep, so about as deep as the London Underground. We reach the bottom of the vent shaft where there is a tunnel connecting it to the metro line. The metro line is one single large bore-dug tunnel fitting two metro tracks. These tracks are standard rubber gauge, which is a French gauge which includes standard gauge steel rails in the middle. Then either side of the steel rails are the running paths for the rubber wheels, and in addition to that there's also guide rails on the side for additional rubber wheels that keep the train guided along the centre of the track. These side guides also double up as the electricity rails. This metro tunnel looks very interesting, and it looks like it's very close to completion. There's not really much left they need to do on this. This does look very interesting in this construction phase. Very fun to explore. So let's go and walk along the tunnel and head towards the next station. And at this point here, you get a really good picture because the tunnel's twisting round to the right, then in the distance it twists around to the left, giving it a very photogenic look for taking a picture here. So we continue along the tunnel and we're now approaching the station. I really wanted to take a look at this station, but it was at this point we realised we triggered loads of alarms. So at this point we had to leave, which is a shame because I really wanted to see what the station looked like. So we now go back up the vent shaft. So then, that's the metro vent URBEX complete. Let's now go on to the next tunnel. The next tunnel we're going to be taking a look at are some electricity tunnels. All over Paris, there's loads and loads of electricity tunnels. All of these are underneath the streets, and they vary in depth. Some of them are just below street level, while some of them go quite a bit deeper. But this tunnel is particularly interesting because this was originally built as a bunker. And then, later on, it was extended and then became part of the electricity tunnel network. It's really interesting that this section of the tunnels was actually a bunker a long time ago. Today it looks more of an electricity tunnel with not many signs left that it was originally a bunker, but it does contain a large bunker door. Let's go and explore these tunnels. In these tunnels there are a lot of steps. The tunnel keeps changing level very regularly. And that's another thing that really gives it away. It was originally a bunker, because most electricity tunnels just use ladders. The fact that you've got all these steps in it shows that this was once a bunker. And this hatch here has another electricity tunnel running across. This one here I believe is a tunnel that was built as an electricity tunnel which intersects into the bunker tunnels, and it's because of the close proximity of the other electricity tunnels is why this bunker, when it was then disused, was then converted into being part of these electricity tunnels. And there's loads of electricity cables going everywhere. Let's go and explore it. And this goes on a very long way. If I wanted to explore all of these electricity tunnels, it would take many hours. Or I say hours, it could even possibly take days, because these are huge. They go all across Paris, a massive network of tunnels. And this spot here looks very interesting, with loads upon loads of electricity cables. And we go along to this bit where the bunker gets even deeper. At this point there's many different routes we can take.
Down there.
And then we find an original bunker door, which shows that this was in fact a bunker. And we've also got this bunker room. Quite a small room, but still very interesting.
A very small bunker.
So we now continue to explore these electricity tunnels, and let's head southwards. So then there's many stairs going up to street level, because these were originally the various entrances to the bunker.
What is this? It was up again.
Yeah, it's big.
Oh wow. Oh my god, how high are we? Reckon there's more bunkers in there?
Yeah, it's big, this is.
And now go across to the tunnel as intersecting the bunker tunnel. This one was built as an electricity tunnel. Let's see where it goes.
What did you say? Cold War or World War II?
Cold War. It's taking us somewhere else. It's taking us a completely different route. This is going for miles. This goes all over Paris.
Must do.
Long.
How fast 15 miles?
A long way.
That's what he said to me that's what he said to me on Instagram. Apparently these tunnels go for 15 miles.
So then, let's now leave these electricity tunnels and let's go to the next tunnel. And the next tunnel is an abandoned train tunnel, or in fact, multiple abandoned train tunnels. This is an abandoned railway line in Paris. I'm very surprised that this is abandoned. Well, I would have thought I would have turned this into part of the RER. Maybe I could have turned it into a metro line. But for some reason, this is disused. I never put it back into use. Let's walk along this abandoned railway and see where it goes. Notice that this part of the railway has wood chippings put on it. I'm not sure if this was intended to be open as some sort of railway walk or something. It's a bit confusing, but there were quite a few other people walking along it. And these people weren't urbexes, they were just using this railway as a shortcut. And along we go to an abandoned station on this railway. Let's take a look at this station.
I don't know.
Maybe it is public. So many people around here. I can't imagine a lot of these people are trespassing.
Why are the gates being cut open?
I quite like the look of this.
The station?
Yeah, I don't know why it's abandoned. I would have thought there'd be enough demand here for this railway.
It's relatively clean.
They're not too bad, are they? Surprisingly.
That one's been taken off, hasn't it, the other round?
This is one of the weirdest abandoned stations I've ever seen.
It's got seating.
We now go along to where there is a gate, and I believe the area which I were thinking of turning into the park now ends. So beyond this, we're now going onto a fully abandoned railway track. And along to an abandoned railway tunnel. This tunnel is very dark. This part I don't think was intended for the public to go down. This part is an abandoned railway which we're not meant to be on. Let's go and explore this tunnel. So we walk through this abandoned tunnel which is very dark.
You're telling me this is open to the public?
And we reach the other end. And from here we can get some interesting scenes of this railway track. Above us is an RER station. Surely this abandoned railway would be the ideal line to be put back into use again, because it can connect to the RER, further down the track it can connect to a tram, it also can connect to a metro line. If they were to put it back into use, it certainly would have a lot of connections with different railway modes. And along we go to the next railway tunnel.
This would have been the station, I'm guessing. This is mad.
After passing through this railway tunnel, which appears to go onto a part where a university's been built onto where the railway was. So then, we now go along to the next tunnel. And we now go to La Défense, which is the Paris version of Canary Wharf. This is an area that's got lots of different skyscrapers, although unlike Canary Wharf and South Quay, the skyscrapers are all very spread apart and not all sort of dense together like Canary Wharf. This is a planned skyscraper development. While this has a lot more planning put into it compared to somewhere like South Quay, which is more spontaneous, to me it feels a bit less characterful than somewhere like South Quay, because everything's so sort of rigidly defined and planned out. It doesn't have that free-forming feel of skyscrapers like South Quay does. But as this area is a planned area, all of the infrastructure was planned out. This includes lots of utility tunnels. So let's go and take a look at some utility tunnel areas. So we go down some stairs into this tunnel area. And along to this area with this bridge going over a big empty space. This was built as an open space for a potential future RER station, which was never built, meaning underneath La Défense is this large empty space. It is like a concrete jungle, all made of concrete. This is a very strange place to explore. Let's take a look around. And as we explore this place, we realise it goes on and on. And we now go to some spooky staircases. These form part of the utility tunnels. Let's go down the staircase and see where it goes.
fucking creepy.
After passing through a few different tunnels, we get down to a fire exit door which leads out to a road tunnel, the main road tunnel that goes underneath bypassing Le de France. So then, now we go to the next set of tunnels. And if I say tunnel and Paris in the same sentence, there's a certain set of tunnels that most people will think of, and that is the Catacombs. Even though these tunnels are called the Catacombs, they were originally built as a stone mine. Not that different to Brown's Folly Mine, as these tunnels were built for the purpose of taking out the stone to build buildings with it. So the use of these tunnels to bury dead bodies as well as digging up bones from the overflowing cemeteries and putting those in the tunnels was actually a later use of the tunnels and was not the initial reason why the tunnels were dug. So later on, many years later after it stopped being used as a stone mine, bodies were just dumped in this mine when there was nothing else they could do with the bodies, which is quite grim. And a lot of urbexers like to explore these tunnels, specifically to find the skulls and have a picture taken with themselves next to these skulls. I find it a bit gross really, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, let's just have a general look around the catacombs. Now when I explored these catacombs, I was actually self-touring. I didn't have a guide with me, and these tunnels are huge. They go on for miles and miles, because remember, this was not built as a set of tunnels as the purpose of a tunnel. It was built as the purpose of getting the stone out. It was a mine. So unlike a bunker or some other tunnel, even a really large tunnel network, you generally get to see all of it because there's like a limit to how far a tunnel goes. With a mine, it's kind of limitless in some ways because it will literally just go on and on as far as they need to take it to get as much stone out of it. So to explore the entire catacombs could potentially take you months to see it all. And as I was doing this without a guide, the risk of getting lost was very high. I had a very bad experience of getting lost in Brown's Folly Mine. So in these catacombs I did go quite a distance in, but I didn't go too far in to the point where I'd risk not remembering the way back, especially since all of the tunnel walls look the same. There are arrows drawn on the walls of the tunnels, but as the entrance to the mine keeps changing, where one entrance gets sealed up and another entrance gets opened, but most of the arrows on the wall will lead you to a blocked up entrance miles away where you'll be completely lost and have no idea how to get back to the main entrance. Because of how huge these tunnels are, they are potentially dangerous if you get lost in there because you'll never be able to find your way out.
Look, like that arrow there is pointing completely the wrong way. No, that's crossed out. It's never crossed out, that one. Okay, then you've got a red. I'm going to trust the dark red arrows. Look, see, you've got those two there pointing the wrong way as well. So I wouldn't really trust these arrows. The yellow one's pointing the correct way. There's all kinds, probably where the entrance keeps changing. So you need to be aware that some arrows will... I'm going to trust these dark red arrows because those ones seem to be correct.
Oh my god, we've got a passage there. Paris Nice, whatever that means. The Coty. That one's underwater, that one. Where does this go there?
Well,
Paris Estate, Coty Estate, Coty Estate.
This
was a mine originally.
Yeah, it looks like a mine, that one. Down there looks like a mine. Brown's Folly Paris edition. So if Scrapper's got down, that'd be gone. So
50 Hill Street, 63.
So, to do the catacombs properly, it's one of those things where you really do need a local to show you around, because the danger of trying to go around this place on your own is so big, and if you got lost down this, but you're potentially not getting out, then if your torches run out of battery, that could be incredibly dangerous. Anyway, we did have a fairly good look at the catacombs. They are very interesting, and I do hope to go back here. So, that is the end of this episode of Tunnelz, but in the next episode of Tunnelz, episode 11, I'm going to be exploring the Barbican tunnels in London.
Then I'll take a shot.